Interior, white room, day. A girl wearing a cool writer shirt walks into the room and is caught off guard by us. She notices us, then turns to say hello.
Oh, hey there filmmakers! My name is Marina Bruno and welcome to Wondering Pictures. Today I'm going to be discussing how to write movie scripts and some storytelling techniques. For those of you who don't know, I write, direct, produce, and edit a ton of short films, which you can watch all on this YouTube channel right here. Please subscribe if you enjoy filmmaking, creative writing, or if you just enjoy checking out films. This right here is my Wondering Pictures online film course, where I share some of my own personal tips and techniques for script writing, filmmaking, producing, editing, all based off of my own personal experience. So before we get started on how to write a movie script, let's start off by discussing what exactly is a script. So a script is like a series of events, each leading up to a conclusion or a final end result. You can think of a story as like the process of something being created, then the finale is the creation. So just picture the script is about bread. So picture your movie is about bread, and the story is the recipe on how to make bread. The entire step-by-step process of mixing together all of the ingredients, letting it sit, put it in the oven, experimenting with different ingredients. The point is that the story is leading up to something. The story is all these different elements or ingredients coming together to form a final result. So this brings me to tip number 1 for writing a movie script. You need to know your ending before you actually start writing. This is because your story needs to have direction in order to have any forward movement. This is kind of like in life as well. When we have goals, desires, or visions for what we want to create in our life, that is the exact thing that sparks the inspired action that moves us toward that end goal or vision that we had in our mind. This isn't an ultimate ending though, because since everything is constantly changing, and then after you reach this goal or ending, then that can become a new element that you can then combine with a new other completed creation to then form something new. And it goes on and forever. So remember, knowing your ending is simply knowing what the final product is that you want to dissect. It's like moving backwards. Instead of playing around with ingredients and testing them out, going through a ton of trial and error and making mistakes, which of course you can do, but that might invite a lot of unnecessary stress and frustration. You can instead simply decide, I want to make bread, and then you really don't have to do anything except for follow a recipe. This way it's a lot more simple and cleaner. Tip number 2 is to create a character with a goal or a need. The story is literally about your character, so they are everything. They are the most important part of the film because the story is about them. This is the person who's going to be initiating and taking most of the action towards the final result of everything that's happening in the story. You can have different kinds of main characters though, so you can create one that is creating all of the action by deliberate force and lots of intention, or one who's having everything happen to them and them having to deal with it. So instead of the main character being someone who creates all of the events leading up to the end conclusion, in this scenario can be one who they themselves are being shaped by the events around them. Your main character can be the chef who's putting together the ingredients to make the bread, or your main character can be the bread itself. Tip number 3 for writing a movie script is to see the entire film in your head before you actually start writing. This lets you write, rewrite, and do all of the edits you want in your mind so that you can visualize until you have the perfect story. Writing in your mind is a lot more fun and fluid. It will also make typing it out on your laptop a lot smoother because you won't get writer's block. Making edits and rewrites in your mind you'll find is a lot easier because you're gonna find that you're only gonna record the good stuff and the bad ideas will kind of just fade away. Instead of wasting your time typing out all the bad ideas, which you know you're gonna delete anyways. You don't have to go into crazy detail with this step because first of all, the mind doesn't really remember the tiny little details anyways. It's usually more comfortable with the overall big picture. And also, the little details will most likely come when you write the script on paper. But again, whatever works for you. Tip number 4 for writing a movie script is that once you have the entire movie in your head, before writing it down on paper, writing down the story in point form, scene by scene, is really useful for keeping the story organized and consistent. This will keep you from getting lost or going astray during the actual script writing process. And lastly, tip number 4 for writing a solid movie script is by using the story paradigm by Syd Field. Literally the best book that I've ever read for screenwriting. It's basically a format you can follow that consists of an act 1 followed by a plot point, which is a turn of events that flips the story 180 degrees, and then act 2, which is then followed by yet another plot point, which also is another turn of events that also flips the story 180 degrees yet again. And then a final conclusion. I can go more into detail on this paradigm in future videos, but for now, I'm just gonna give you the basics of it. So that's pretty much it. So let's end this episode from a question from you guys from Instagram. So Marina Skits asks, were you British just now? I don't know. I don't ask that question, okay? I can't answer. So let's end this episode with an Instagram question from you guys. So Joseph Curter asks, are there any applications for scripts? Yes. My all-time favorite application for script writing is called Movie Magic Screenwriter, and I use it all the time. It's really amazing because it lets you write out your script, it formats everything for you, and then also you can identify characters, wardrobe, props, location, and all of that stuff for when you're actually going into production. So it's my all-time favorite. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope this video was helpful. If there's anything that you'd like me to cover that I didn't in this video that you'd like me to do in a future video, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, and please be sure to subscribe to Wondering Pictures for new film course videos and to check out my short films. If you'd like, follow me on Instagram for raw behind the scenes, and if you'd like to support these films and become a producer, you can contribute via Patreon. Also be sure to check out the Wondering Pictures clothing store, which you can get a shirt that represents who you are and what you do. These shirts are magic, so basically whenever you wear them, you will inevitably become the best version of whatever it is that your shirt is. So I have one for director, I have one for writer, editor, producer, every single thing on a film set. Also, when you wear it, you will become unstoppable at what you do because it ignites the motivation and inspiration that is already within you. And if you want more of me, you can also check out my other YouTube channel. Peace out, filmmakers.